Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the hidden stories buried within stacks of corporate filings. And let me tell you, our guest today has a story for the ages, a tale of ambitious growth, and some truly head-scratching financial moves. Prepare yourselves because we are diving deep into AsiaFIN Holdings Corp. Latest filing. So what are we looking at here? AsiaFIN Holdings Corp is a company operating in the fintech and information technology space, providing solutions in payment processing, robotic process, automation, and regulatory technology. They have clients across Asia and even in Saudi Arabia. This filing is essentially their updated financial and business report for investors to digest before a potential big move, a stock offering. Right now they are offering 2 million shares of their common stock, and the price is estimated to be between $5 and $7 per share. They are aiming to raise a nice chunk of change to fuel their expansion into new markets like Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, and the United States. Sounds ambitious, right? Now let us talk numbers, because that is where the rubber meets the road. For the nearly completed year ending the 30th of September 2025, AsiaFIN reported revenue of $3.2 million. That is a healthy jump from $2.1 million in the same period last year, which is a 53% increase. That is a strong sign of business growth. However, this revenue growth comes at a cost. For the same 9 months period in 2025, they reported a net loss of $3,00123, a bit of a hit compared to the $374,726 loss in 2024, which actually means they improved their loss situation by about 20%. Not quite profitable yet, but moving in the right direction on the loss front. The year-end figures for 2024 paint a similar picture. Revenue was about $3.4 million, but they ended up with a net loss of $143,577. That is a reversal from 2023, when they actually had a small net income of $19,214. So it seems profitability is an ongoing challenge. Where is all this money going? Well, a big chunk is going into selling general and administrative expenses. For the first 9 months of 2025, these costs soared to $1.38 million. That is a 42% increase from the previous year, mostly due to hiring more staff to support their expansion and covering higher credit loss allowances. Basically, they are spending more to grow, and some of that investment is not paying off immediately in terms of collecting payments. Speaking of payments, their accounts receivable stood at $1.3 million as of September 2025, a slight increase. This means customers owe them more money, which is expected with growing sales, but it also hints at potential collection challenges that they clearly factored in with that increased credit loss allowance. Now, no company is without its risks, and AsiaFIN has quite the list. They are worried about not being able to compete successfully in their marketplace. That is a big one. They also point out their dependence on third-party technologies which they do not control, and the rapid pace of technological change. They are also incorporating artificial intelligence into their products, which, while innovative, also comes with its own set of risks, like generating errors or facing new regulations. They openly admit that their past performance may not be sustainable, and that an economic downturn could severely hurt their customer demand. And then there is the reality of being a public company. They are preparing for significant increased costs related to compliance and reporting requirements that come with being listed on the Nice American. This is a common challenge for companies making the leap from smaller markets. Looking at who owns the company, we see that Kai Chong Wong, their chief executive officer, and Kok Wase, their director, are major shareholders. Together they hold a significant portion of the company, and this means they have a lot of sway in corporate decisions. This concentration of ownership can sometimes limit the influence of other shareholders. A key part of how this company operates involves related party transactions. For instance, they lease office space from the CEO Kai Chong Wong and his wife Su Mung Tan. They also make purchases from Insight My International Inc., which is controlled by the CEO. While these transactions are disclosed, they do highlight the close ties between the company's leadership and its operations, which is something to keep an eye on for any potential conflicts of interest. So what is the bottom line for AsiaFIN Holdings Corp? They are in a growth phase, aggressively expanding into new markets and investing heavily in their technology. This is reflected in their revenue growth, which is impressive. However, this expansion comes at the cost of profitability, with consistent net losses reported. Their significant spending on administrative costs and the clear presence of related party transactions are areas that warrant attention. From a Warren Buffett perspective, we look for companies with strong competitive advantages, sustainable profitability, and clear long-term strategies. AsiaFIN is showing growth in revenue, a positive sign. But their net losses year after year and their heavy reliance on related party transactions are significant weaknesses. The dependence on evolving technology and the competitive landscape also present considerable risks. They are essentially betting big on future success in new markets and innovative tech. My take is that AsiaFIN is a high-risk, high-reward play. The expansion plans are bold, and the growth in certain revenue streams is promising. However, the path to profitability is not clear, and the significant costs associated with growth and being a public company could be a heavy burden. Investors need to be very comfortable with the speculative nature of this investment and be prepared for potential volatility given their current financial standing and the risks involved. Alright, that is our deep dive into AsiaFIN Holdings Corp. Latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out our Discord in the description for more discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.